Hi, and welcome to another edition of Notoriety. I'm your host, Phil Potempa. Thank you for taking time to be a part of our broadcast. And of course, this is the broadcast equivalent of all of the columns and stories you'll read in editions of Post Tribune, my flagship newspaper. You'll find columns and feature stories and news articles, as well as sometimes under the umbrella of the media company that is Chicago Tribune Media. Of course, everything also is always archived and captured at chicagotribune.com. We're just so glad that you are a part of our conversation. We couldn't be here without the generous support of our underwriters these past 8 years, the folks at People's Bank, the Legacy Foundation, and Indiana Arts Commission. Some of you are tuned in through our traditional radio airwaves as we broadcast from the Strachan Van Til studios here in Hammond, Indiana. Others have the added advantage you're streaming us. Maybe you found us through a social media, through a YouTube channel. You were wondering what's going on in that broadcast, and so you stopped to come along for the ride. We want to let you know that we are capturing this broadcast on Thursday, May the 1st, 2025. In case it's a rebroadcast and you're hearing it, any information, we don't want it to be dated or for you to miss your ticket opportunity. And what a ticket opportunity we have in store for us today. Our guests that are right here in studio are friends from Marian Theatre Guild. They've been on our program many times before. A couple times a year, they bring to us Broadway right here in the northern part of Lake County, right along the lake in beautiful Whiting. And what is it? Historical auditorium right there at St. John. And it's not just theater, it's dinner theater. So that's what makes it so different than many of the opportunities that we have for our other theater, be it regional or even professional here in our area. The spring production is Lost in Yonkers, and it's one of my favorite. It's a Neil Simon comedy, although it does have some heartfelt moments, too, and some lessons to be learned along the way, as we know. That is the signature writing that is Neil Simon. It opened last weekend, but we still have one more weekend of performances here, so we're going to hear all about the behind-the-scenes scoop and everything that's happening from those that are taking the bows and ovations of what I've heard was a very successful opening weekend for our Marian Theatre Guild friends. Joining me on our guest couch, we have with us Leslie Evans. Hello.
Hello.
She plays the part of grandmother. You would never, ever know that, based on the vivacious vitality that we have here in the energy. But she's doing her acting chops the best to be grandmother. And along her side, her playing the grandsons, we have real-life brothers. You're known for their bold print name being in many reviews and columns throughout our region and Chicagoland. We have with us Julian Solis and also brother Gabriel. They are playing the brothers in this production of Lost in Yonkers, and it is a role that they are revisiting, correct?
It's a role that I'm revisiting.
You are revisiting. The last time you were not cast with your real-life brother to play the part, were you the younger brother or the older brother that first time around?
See, the first time around, I was cast as the older brother. I'm still cast as the older brother, but the younger brother was our other brother. Was our middle brother.
Who has a flow chart here. I'm going to bring Mom Sarah to help me sort all of this out. And that last time that you stepped into these roles, was it also for Marian Theatre Guild or was it for another production company?
It was for a different production company. Mm-hmm. It was for L'Arc-en-Ciel in, I believe...
Oh, yeah, in Cedar Lake. They do a dinner theater production as well. The last time I've seen a production of Lost in Yonkers, it's been a while, and it was done up at Northlight, way up north, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. And I remember, this really tells you when I'm captured by what is a story or a spirit or a production. I saw it on the press opening night, and I just was so moved by it that I bought tickets again for another matinee and brought my mom all the way up from the farm to see it. And so much to talk about because, again, it's a roller coaster of emotions. It is also a period piece. So there's we're going to have our producer float some photos on that screen for those of you who do have the added advantage to see some of the visuals. What you have recreated there at the Marian Theatre Guild is really a period-appropriate era apartment that would be in New York. That's from the vantage point of that vast auditorium that seats quite a few people. It is really period perfect. The set designer has done such a great job, which I think a lot of times it could be our friend Marty Dybel that's helping out sometimes, I think pounding nails and also helping with painting.
Absolutely.
The pieces are just phenomenal. We're going back to the era that is 1930s or 40s?
It's 1942.
1942. So it's the early 1940s. And in a world of, again, New York, think of those large apartment buildings that they would have. And it's a really kind of it's a strained family dynamic for a number of reasons. So without giving away too much of the story, since you're most familiar with it, Julie, I'm going to let you give us the thumbnail nutshell description of the plot points.
Yes, well, it is set against the backdrop of 1942. Lost in Yonkers unfolds in Grandma Kernitz's apartment, perched above a candy store in Yonkers, New York. At its heart, the play explores family dynamics through the lives of two young boys, Jay and Artie, who find themselves living with their formidable grandmother.
That's you.
That's me. And as their father Eddie is forced to leave them to repay debts, the boys must navigate the challenges of their new environment.
And I did a little synopsis in my column last week just to help and give a little nudge for ticket sales. And I wanted to get the entire cast in there. So Dad really is forced to be away to make some money, and so he's left the two sons with his grandma to keep an eye on at that apartment. The family-run business is a candy store below. Mom has passed away, or Mom is not a part of this storyline. I know this is kind of part of I believe a trilogy, but Mom is not a featured cast member, correct?
No, she had passed away 2 years
Okay.
earlier in the story from cancer.
And so they're staying with Dad's family, which extends to, I want to hear our gentleman talk about, it sounds like a somewhat mysterious uncle who comes and goes. If you have your own conclusions of what his comings and goings might be, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who is this? Uncle who?
This is Uncle Louie,
Uh-huh.
the mysterious Uncle Louie that in the very beginning of the show, the kids are making fun of him, saying like, "Oh, he's a gangster," you know, he does this, he does that. And then later, when he comes into the show, it's very obvious he is actually a gangster, and he's getting into like trouble.
Because you think of children having their own imagination, so they are maybe letting it run away with them, but could there be some truth under the surface? There's also another aunt that would be another one of the siblings, Aunt Gertie, I believe, who gets very nervous around her own mother at times and can get very excitable. Is that correct? Is there an Aunt Gertie or
Aunt Gertrude.
Gertrude? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aunt
What's her character
Gertrude-
like? Her persona? She a nervous type?
Aunt Gertrude is she's the smallest role. She's like has the least stage time, but she kind of has, I would say, the most history with Grandma because she was raised to be very afraid of her. So whenever she's around her grandma, she can't speak correctly.
That's it. I knew she went into some kind of coughing or some type of asthma or something that would cause her to sort of shut down her communications. There's one other aunt who the boys sometimes are rolling their eyes about because she seems just a little bit loopy, and this is Aunt Belle. Is that right? Is that the other sibling?
Aunt Bella.
Bella. I'm so close, right? I'm always just missing a vowel there somewhere. Aunt Bella seems as though she's just sort of lighthearted and lives in her own world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also underlying shadows for all of these characters as we get to know them. The show, I'm sure, goes rather briskly. Is the whole thing wrapped up in about 2 hours with an intermission?
About 2.5 hours.
2.5,
with
okay.
intermission.
Now, of course, there's always the opportunity that I recommend to make it a full evening, and that is to add that dinner theater component. So there are not many options that are ticket opportunities in our region that have this, but Marian Theatre Guild has made it their tradition all of these years. So at the beautiful St. John's Church, the Catholic Church, that's right there in the heart of everything, 119th, you have the opportunity for dining pre-show, but that's only available for the Saturday performance. So we had one Saturday performance. We have one more. I'm going to throw out some dates here just so everybody that's listening can mark calendars. We're on to our second weekend, so your opportunities here are going to be on Saturday, May the 3rd, 7:30 curtain, dining about 5:30. It is sort of family style. They just send around those plates, and you just sort of indulge and keep grazing until you're full. It is true hearty cooking. It's the type of things that would be fried chicken and sliced roast beef. It could be sauerkraut and polo sausage. Usually there'll be some starch like a mashed potato or parsley potatoes, coarse green beans or corn as a vegetable, dinner rolls, dessert, and plug your ears, boys. I believe they also give you 2 cocktails included, beer,
That is
wine,
correct.
and cocktails.
Yes,
So
yes.
all for the package deal. That needs to be arranged in advance. You can't just show up for that. Call 219 219-473-0713 will get you those dinner reservations. Again, 219-473-0713. We're talking about Marian Theatre Guild, spring production Lost in Yonkers. Neil Simon, who is an icon for our comedy writing and stage plays. It's not often done very often, and you know if Marian Theatre Guild is tackling it, it's going to be done right. They have done it previously. It's a part of their history, of their long history, with so many, of course, production seasons over the years. Directed this time around by J. McKay Emerson. So we talked about Saturday night. Final opportunity would be there's not a Friday night performance, correct? It's just on the weekends, is right? Or is there Friday as well?
No, just Saturday and Sunday.
So Sunday's going to be the matinee. That's at 3 p.m. on May the 4th. www.marian, with a Marian Theatre, R-E, guild.com. You can go on there and you can find your opportunity for the tickets. And it's general seating. It's a large cavernous space. There's not a bad seat in the house. General seating, pick your seats, go and find the spot that you want, and you will not at all be disappointed along the way. I'm curious, had you ever done any of the productions before of Lost in Yonkers, or is it your first time?
This is my first time.
It's your first time, okay. And any pressure at all, Gabe, for you stepping into this role and having to actually interact and be in character with your own brother on stage, or you've done previous performances together, so...
We've done a few different shows together, but yeah, it is a little difficult to, like, we're kind of trying to make each other laugh every once in a while we're on stage. Just got to stay in character.
And I'm glad that the cameras have zoomed in on you because you've got great hats on. That's a signature, one of the parts that I know Marty always says in Marian Theatre Guild. They put the branding right there for whatever show that they have for a little bit of swag, and this is the Lost in Yonkers, and it's the ball cap. It says it all right there. How many weeks were you in preparation for this rehearsals and casting and when it all started to unfold? We're starting May. Go back in time, and auditions probably happened when?
In the end of February? Or the beginning of... Yeah, the end of February, I
think,
believe.
yeah, I think that
yes.
was right.
And you were probably starting rehearsals by when?
Oh, it was a week after the auditions took place.
So about a week
we've
after.
we've been in rehearsals for quite some time.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I do have to say and mention Jama Emerson, who is the director of the show. She was absolutely wonderful with her vision for the show, and not only for the show, but for each of our different characters. And to get that much input and into a character from the director sometimes is a little rare. Because you just... many places you go, the director gives you blocking, and then you just rehearse that same blocking and your lines day after day. Where Jama truly understands the characters and gives you opportunities to try different ways of applicating the history of the character, and also what kind of relationships that they are having with each other.
So much more involved. She will stop a scene and she'll say, that could work, but what if you tried it like this? Put her in the place that she would be thinking, fill in the blank, and let's have you take it again. And how would you do that line? Same thing, gentlemen, for you. There's been time where she'll stop a scene and say, you know, yeah, they're kind of goofing around, but they know something's up. And so will she kind of give you that type of nuance, fine-tuning, or no, she just lets you do whatever you want?
No, she definitely, like Leslie said, she understands the characters very well. She gets into their story arcs over the course of the play, makes sure, like, what they're written to do in the scene. It also gives, like, she does a really good job of giving subtext and basically giving the characters something to do even when there is not dialogue written in the script, because... like, she understands their story over the course of the play very well, and gives very, very good direction on that. Do you have anything?
Yeah, she's been really good at, like, getting into the mindset of the character and, like, putting you in the right place and giving you the right directions.
Like what would this character do in this given circumstance? And I've found that she can answer that question, like, perfectly every time.
I had to miss the opening weekend for another obligation. I'll be there this Saturday, though, to see it. Give me a hint of something behind the scenes. Of all the scenes, there was one that was just, it was so key, so important that she was going to have you keep working on it until it really came together, and that chemistry read through to the audience. It might be a scene they had the three of you together. It might be a scene that has you two with your dad. It might be a scene with you with one of the other daughters. What's your answer to that? We were not giving her what she needed, and now we've got it. We've got it nailed. What scene do you think that might have been? Anybody?
Well,
A really
I know,
tough scene.
A really tough scene for myself was the scene in which Grandma and her youngest daughter, Bella, have a confrontation. Bella, who is handicapped, she had scarlet fever when she was born and then didn't talk till she was 5. So she never matured beyond being a child. So, there's a big confrontation there where Bella wants to spread her wings a bit.
And that's such a key scene. It really
Yes.
does erupt. It's very emotional. It's very emotionally charged, but it's a pivotal. It's a turning point where that audience will never look at that family the same after that scene. So I bet that did take some work and fine tuning.
Oh, yes, it did. And Jama worked, myself and Sophia, who plays Bella. Olivia. Excuse me, Olivia. And
had you ever worked together before in previous shows?
No.
Okay.
And it was a joy working with her.
Okay.
It really was, because she gave me enough feedback from her character for me to go on, instinctively with how I was presenting lines and emotions and even the way I held my body. So that's always a plus when you have an actor who can you can bounce off of.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Same question for our gentleman on the couch. A scene that really took some fine tuning. We weren't getting it, and it could be even the timing. It could be the pauses. It could be, the quick shift from what had to be humorous to suddenly a dark moment. What would you say?
I would say the dinner scene, right?
Yeah.
Well, the after dinner scene.
And why? Why that scene?
It starts out very lighthearted.
And are you in it,
said.
Leslie, as well? Or no?
In
Are you in the dinner
after-
scene?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Continue, Julian.
It's every character in the play except for our father is in that scene. So there's all of them are out on the stage, and that's one of the scenes where Aunt Bella has something. Without spoiling, Aunt Bella has something very important to tell the rest of the family, and the boys are trying to help her get it out because she can't figure out how to get it out, where all of the other characters have something else going on. Grandma doesn't really want to hear this. Aunt Gert is kind of just trying to sit there and be quiet because of how afraid she is of Grandma. And Uncle Louis just wants to leave because he doesn't have time for all of this. It's chaotic, and it kind of bounces back and forth from dramatic to comedic, and then slowly gets more and more dramatic as the scene progresses until it builds to a head. And there needs to be a very specific flow and a very specific energy for that scene that we didn't get until right before Tech Week.
And in that scene, and I know it very well, if even the audience is feeling a little awkward and uncomfortable, by the end of it, you've done what you're supposed to do, because that's the dynamic that's unfolding at that moment. We'll shift into ask just a fun question I always like to ask about this. All prop food, or no, there's actually a little bit of real food that we actually have to eat at some time. All prop food, or no, there's even some real food on that table sometimes we have to eat. Anybody?
There are no scenes that take place when people are actually eating. I call it the dinner scene because that's the easiest thing that I have learned to call it, but it actually takes place after they're done with dinner.
Okay.
So there's no food on the plates. But you come in.
I think the most that they've done with that is there's water in a teacup and a bowl, but I actually walk in during the after dinner scene and just eat a piece of strudel and then sit down.
And you have to actually eat something in that to make it happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds so easy to do. It is not, because everything has to be choreographed, blocked. again, you're trying to say words clearly, and anything that you have, again, that can be tough. So I know at that moment's like, if you're hearing our conversation unfold, we're talking about Lost in Yonkers, the Neil Simon classic play that is, again, it's a comedy, but it has some many, many layers to it. You will leave talking about it. If you haven't seen it for a while, it's time to revisit it. Marian Theatre Guild is offering it 2 weekends only. Our first weekend is done. We're doing this broadcast with our guest today on May the 1st, 2025. So Thursday morning, here's your second weekend, your opportunity. There's the dinner show production that is on May the 3rd, 7:30 curtain. Show up about 5 or 5:30. Make your dinner reservations in advance, 219-473-0713. You will not be disappointed with that full multi-course meal. Right around $40 to add to the price of that theater ticket. Or if you don't want to get your theater ticket, you can simply go to the website, www.mariantheatreguild.com, and you can pick out your tickets and find it. You will not be disappointed again with these performances. The last time I think I might have saw, I think it was you, Julian, but now I'm questioning myself. Anything Goes at Porchlight? Or no?
That was actually me.
That was you, Gabriel. All right, I saw you there at the opening night and at the party. The last time the two of you have ever worked together in anything, gentlemen, cast together in the same show.
Oh.
What was?
Did you do a Christmas Story at Theater at the Center together, or no?
No.
Did either of you do Theater at the Center Christmas Story?
Not Christmas Story.
You did Over the Tavern. One of you did. I remember with the nun.
I did Over the Tavern. I did a different Christmas show at Theater at the Center. I did It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Okay, absolutely. And that was, I believe, was that a Bill Plinzi production, perhaps? Maybe director Bill Plinzi? Or maybe it was Linda Fortunato. I'm a little bit blurred with it, but
Bill Underwood, I think.
Bill Underwood would be your musical director, I know, but Bill Plinzi, or William Plinzi, I think, was maybe the director for that one. I'm almost sure. Again, we have such fond memories at Theater at the Center.
My mom is now nodding, so yes.
Yeah, I think that is the one. We all have such great memories at the Center for Visual and Performing Arts in Munster, Indiana. Leslie, have you ever worked with them before?
No.
First time?
The first time.
And first time for all of you to work with this director, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I've worked with her before.
You have, okay.
She directed Noises Off at the Marian Theatre Guild.
All right.
And,
another fun show.
Very.
Isn't that
very
is that door slamming?
Yes.
Which takes a lot of blocking and choreography as well. This is, again, a ticket opportunity that is, it's not to be missed, and it goes by so quick. I know it's a lot of rehearsing, but are you enjoying your time together up there? Have you hit that synergy and that family chemistry where it does feel like you're having fun now? First weekend usually is a good one to get through, and then you can take a breather.
For myself, when I'm up there, I'm not having so much fun because I am concentrating on my character, and with this one, there's a dialect that's added into it, and like you said, the dynamics between the characters.
Yes.
And so you have to be on guard with this one. I've done shows where you were just having absolute time of your life out on stage, but I think because this is not a comedy as some people might say that it is, but it is a drama with some comedy thrown in there through the lines or through the relationship with the two boys, the grandsons. But most of the time for myself, it's work.
Absolutely, and it's again, it's a story that it's a tug of war both ways. I hope with the two of you being cast together as real life brothers, there's got to be at least a couple fun moments here or there. Even though I know this is work, this is your career, fun moments you find along the way. Because if you're not having fun, that's not ideal either. Because we want to make sure that you enjoy every minute you get.
Well, I don't know about you, but the first couple of scenes, like mostly Act 1 in general, is just really fun. Because it's just like us joking around and like making little jokes whenever it's just us and just having a lot of fun on stage.
I thought I saw a photo on Facebook, I think our producer has it, of you in the lobby with all the cast photos, and it looked like, at least off stage, you're having some fun here and there. What is it? I see it there on the monitor, right? There's something going on that looks like you're having fun right there in front of the full cast as well. here's your opportunity to see what is a performance that's not to be missed. And I thank all of you for coming in. I'll get to cross paths and see and be one of those people I know that will be standing up with ovations on Saturday as well, as I hope you will. But get your tickets. You will not be disappointed. Marian Theatre Guild only does a couple productions per year, per their season. That's what they can fit in. And this is one that you want to make sure you put on the schedule. Lost in Yonkers. Neil Simon, only 2 performances left for this play. The dinner theater opportunity, Saturday night, May 3rd, 7:30 curtain, and you can get the dinner before, but it must be a reservation in advance so they know their food numbers. Or Sunday afternoon, what a great way to spend a Sunday. And tickets are available at www.mariantheatreguild with the RE.com. For dinner reservations, that number one more time, 219-473-0713. Their home away from home is right there at St. John. It's the beautiful Catholic Church. They have a huge auditorium that's connected there. The dinner seating and everything is one-stop shop. It's all right in that space. You just amble and make your way upstairs after dessert. You're right there in the theater lobby ready to go. And what an exciting opportunity to be part of what's a true classic. We got to now think of something that's going to be able to reunite all of the Solis family back at Theater at the Center. I'm always talking back and forth with your mom on opening nights. I think it should be, even if it's a cabaret show. You're so young, but you have so many behind-the-scenes stories already. Put in a grand piano, some song in between there, and just share all those moments. So put on your thinking caps in between all those commercials that you do and your movie opportunities and your live theater, and come back to your other home away from home in Northwest Indiana. Agreed?
Yeah.
They got to talk to their agent first, who I see right outside in the green room in the glass window. That would be Mom.
Also, perhaps at the Marian Theatre Guild, they can do that.
You can come back and, yeah, they could do a cabaret show there as well. That would be a wonderful opportunity. Marian Theatre Guild, everything that is done there. And we thank all the folks behind the scenes. I mentioned Marty's name a couple times. If it were not for Gail has been the one that's the driving force for publicity that said, get it in that column, get them on the radio. So thank you, Gail. You do so much behind the scenes.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
And thank you. Yeah. Also, any parting words for us?
Well, I would like to announce that the Marian Theatre Guild has announced chosen their fall musical.
Ooh, good.
Which will be A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Oh, that's another great one.
And that will be directed by Stephanie Namoff. And also that the Marian Theatre Guild will be celebrating their 100th anniversary in 3 years.
In 3 years. I knew it wasn't next year, but I knew it was coming up. So that's the magic number.
Absolutely.
So let's just make a date that everybody's going to be back here doing well, and we'll celebrate with, there'll be something real in the bottle the next time when you come, all right? You can have champagne or maybe not alcoholic champagne, well, depending, we'll see. Oh. The third brother is the oldest of the brothers, and is that right that you mentioned before that was in the show with you before?
No, I'm the oldest.
You're oldest?
He's the youngest. We have a middle brother.
And that is?
Ethan.
That's Ethan. Okay, very good. He's invited back anytime as well. And thank you, all of our listeners and viewers, for being a part of our conversation today. I'm your host, Phil Potempa. Again, our broadcast is captured on this Thursday, May the 1st, 2025. We hope that you will continue to tune in for everything that's happening in Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland, and beyond. And whenever you're hearing this podcast, we hope that you enjoy wherever the rest of your day, evening, or afternoon or path may take you.